Well, hello everybody. It's wee Paddy from across the shuck, and I was tagged again this morning, which is twice in a week, which is brilliant. I love tagging, and I'll have to do one myself later on this week just to join in. I think it's a great way of keeping our community together and keeping new and old people mixing, because anybody who's around 2 weeks or 2 years can do a tag. It's as simple as that, and it keeps us all together rather than this big gap because you've got so many subs you don't and get involved. A lot of rubbish. You just get involved. That's what the community's here for. Now, to get off my soapbox, the tag was to pick your 3 pet peeves about knives, and I'm going to come at it from a different angle than the other people before me, and I've watched quite a few of them. Big Red EDC done a great one, and he explained it fully. I've watched a couple of others. They've been great little peeves that we all have. But I'm going to come at it from a videographer, from a knife channel. The pet peeves that gets on my nerves in the knife world, if you like. It's all the same thing. It's knives, so sometimes I get a bit controversial, but what I've got in front of you is 2 knives, and this is my first pet peeve, and I know this is going to cause controversy, and I'm sorry that it's going to cause controversy because I don't think it should, but the sad story, when you come about, some of us don't have a whole lot of money. So you buy what you can afford, and sometimes you buy stuff that mimics what the expensive stuff is because you want to feel that you're holding and using. You're not, but you don't know that until you get the more expensive stuff. And the process of getting there is different than if you've got a lot of money and you come in and you can buy what you want. So what I would love to hear is less people moaning because somebody buys a clone. We all buy clones of something. Dead simple. For years I've gone on about this. We all buy clones of something. Your phones, your TVs, whatever. The knife world's no different. Well, I'll get on to that later. But look, here's 2 knives. And I probably wouldn't have got the more expensive bug out if I hadn't had this one. Look at them 2 blades. Isn't it amazing how close they look to each other? This is a Ganzo. It's not copying this one because this was out before this one. But look how close that blade shape is. And when the bug out came out, it was the first thing that hit me up with this. Oh, my Ganzo's like that. My Ganzo looks like that bug out. But nobody ever said, did the bug out copy that Ganzo? No. So this is my argument. I couldn't afford the bug out when I came around, so I got this. I didn't even know about the bug out, but I got this. When the Ganzo came out, wow, look. What is the difference? There's very little difference. There's a difference in what the blades are made of. 440C, S30V. 2 great steels. 2 great knife steels. No problem. I don't care which one or either. Which will be another pet peeve. But what I'm trying to say is some people can only afford the replicas or the knockoffs rather than the real thing. And I'm going to show you another reason why it annoys me that people pick on others because they don't buy the expensive knives. I was coming into a wee bit of money, and I wanted to know what my next knife was going to be because I was going to spend a bit of money on it. So I bought this. I was thinking of getting a Manundi with the money. And I went and I bought this clone. This clone cost me $8. $8. I have no idea what the steel is made of, but I do know that it's got a real hollow grind, a very fine cutting edge. It holds an edge for a fairly good amount of time, and it looks good. And it's not going to be like a Chris Reeves. It's not going to be smooth and all mechanic, but it turned out to be a blooming great penknife for throwing in your pocket or sitting at the side on a desk. It looks good, and it's $8. Is that $8 going to take away from Chris Reeve? No. Is it hell? But what it did show me was I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on a penknife that was locking. And that's all it was. That simple fact that once I got it in hand, it was beautiful and it looks lovely. The real thing probably looks 10 times better. But I found out that I didn't want to spend that amount of money on a knife that locks because it makes it illegal in my country. That's the reason. So I went and spent a lot of money on my other option, which was a Hinderer Slippy. Do you know what I mean? Because I like this Slippy better than I like the Chris Reeve one. I'd only seen them from afar. I'd never held one of these either, but I liked the look of it. It was a good knife. So I did spend a lot of money. But that was all because I started off on an £8 clone. Get me? So I'm not going to go on too long. But just stop knocking people who buy clones. Just let them get on with their knife world. We all have clones of something. Next one. I'm not angry, actually. I know I get very purposeful, but I just hate to see people getting bashed for what they can afford to buy. Next one. Traditional knives. When I look at EDC pictures I'm on Instagram. And when I see the pictures, I see lots of traditional knives. People carry them as secondary knives or whatever. And I see lots of pictures of them. But I don't see as many videos of them. And I would love to see more videos of them. I'm sure there's people like me, more Europeans probably, than anything else, that we don't have that rich tradition that Americans have in traditional knives. Now, this is just a Rough Rider. And I'm saying just a Rough Rider, and I've no idea what I just... How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that knife? Look at them matchstick nail nicks. A black cherry bone. How beautiful is that knife? And that's a knife that anybody can afford. Listen to that walk and talk. Isn't that just amazing? That walk and talk is just amazing. It's just beautiful. And we don't seem to see them. Now, somebody kindly sent me, these are both gifts, and there's this one which is a locking one. But I didn't realise how good a knife it was. I'd seen Buck 55, and I knew it was half the size of the big one. So I sort of ruled it out. It was, well, maybe it wouldn't, probably wouldn't use it. It is one of the most useful. It now sits in the front there, and I use it daily. I use it daily because it is such a lovely knife. It's such a well-made knife. The 440C heat treat that they do on it is amazing. Do you know, it's really good. The fit and finish is really good on it. It's a lovely knife. So I would love to see more. I'd love to see more traditional knives because we all obviously have them, but I don't see that many videos on them. And because you don't get big numbers when you put these videos out, I know that's probably why people are doing it, but I just wish those that have got them and are not particularly worried about the numbers they get in their videos, they just want to put a video out because it's good content. I would love to do it because I want to put more traditional knives out as I'm getting into it. And it's lovely to see them. And I love seeing the different makes, not just all the same. I mean, I've got a GEC, which I just think is absolutely stunning. I'm in the process of doing a trade for another one because they're just stunning. But I love all sorts, from Rough Riders to... I found this the other day. There we are, in a second-hand shop, right? It is awful steel, but it's a little penknife, and I paid £1 for it. Greetings from Ireland. So, I mean, there we go. There's a little knife, and that'll be going on a wee giveaway soon. But do you know what I mean? I just love seeing different makes and brands. So that would be a pet peeve, that we don't see enough of them. So one, stop getting on to people with clones unless you're completely innocent and have a clone of nothing. And if you're carrying a phone, you can't join in. Now, the next one is another one to do with, I think, numbers. I think that's what holds people back, is the numbers of people we get viewing. And as videographers, it's my pet peeve. And to be honest with you, I have to change my way of doing it. When you read in the comments, all the time I get in my comments that people are, oh, but that steel is very hard. It would be hard to sharpen. There's no steel that you really want to buy out there unless you're going to go for the extremely high end. that you can't sharpen with ease, that you can't sharpen with a simple sharpening system like a Lansky. And that's for people who can't use, you're not good, their hand-eye coordination is good, they can't do it freehand. A Lansky is basic and it's brilliant and it'll give you a great edge in your knives. Simple. So I would love to see a wee bit more on the sharpening side. I have a man that I recommend who I followed from I first started, Jeff Jewell. I'll plug him and I'll put his name down below. Jeff and his amazing knife sharpener. He doesn't go into all the technical details as much, although he does know them. But he doesn't. He just shows. It's repetition. He shows you how he does it, so that you can. I sat for hours trying to copy him. He is amazing. And when you ask him a question, he answers you. And he answers you properly. It's not like a throwaway answer. He answers you properly. And it got me into sharpening. And I now do all sorts of different sharpeners. I'm not great, but I can get an edge. And that makes knife collecting, using, whatever, brilliant. It just makes it all the worthwhile. So when you see people who take the time to do a sharpening video, go and give them a little watch. Remind somebody else who's just about, oh, there's a sharpening video there. And this is not, I'll do a few, but people like Jeff who are really good and who can explain the basics. And there's lots of them out there now. We're getting more and more. A lot of them are doing testing and you don't see as much of the sharpening. You see an awful lot of the testing. I would love to see more sharpening because I've learned so many different ways through just watching people on YouTube. And it's another part of the hobby if you've never get into it. Once you realise how, initially it's maybe a wee bit difficult to get started if you've never done it, but once you realise how simple it is and how much joy you get when you try a different way and are able to do it. Doing it freehand is amazing. Doing it freehand on a stone is even better. Use your old knives though. So there we go. There's 3 pet peeves. I know they're different than everybody else is probably going to have, but I'm an odd chap. But I love this community, love the tag. Thank you so much. I'll probably not get any more now. But there we go. That's Paddy's view on 3 pet peeves. Clones, stop worrying about it so much. More traditional knives, please, videographers. This might be we don't see as many as I would like. And sharpening videos. If you see one, go and watch the bloke, because it takes time to do a sharpening video. And if you don't know how to do whatever sharpening he's doing, watch and try and learn. It's amazing how much pleasure you'll get out of it. So, take care. Big Red EDC, thank you so much. I'm going to tag Slick Slicers. He's just a new channel. He's in double digits. He just really needs a wee bit of support. Slick Slicers. And I'm going to tag Baz on Blades. And I'm going to tag Jeff Jewell, our sharpening guru. He has got some lovely knives too. He's also a knife lover as well as a sharpener. So that's the 3 I'm going to tag. I'll let them know and I'll put them down below. Take care, everybody. All the best, wee Paddy. Bye. Cup of tea time.